team human experts who understand exopolitical alien weaponry. It's getting to the point where you're gonna have to have human experts who are who you have to have human, extremely and full of an abundance of integrity, team human experts who understand exopolitical alien weaponry, because that scalar frequency, which trumps the RSA cryptography of ELF waves and can use source signal modulation and delineate holographic computing with, basically it's called black hole technology, and create their own algorithm gradients, change the source code, and even do it relative to before it's used at any point of space and time with time travel as it is. Or if it's going to be implemented in the future, they can attack it before there, and that's a form of time travel, the information war. So what I'm trying to say is you need an expert for the human species who can understand this stuff to create sovereignty for the human race, to negate made to look self-takeout World War III scenarios. And what I'm about to tell you can be applied to future electronic harassment, future battle situations with this information. And what I'm trying to say is, earlier I uploaded a video with the Patriot missile, with the Patriot missile system and the hypersonic missiles, and I was just sitting here contemplating that stuff and thinking about like the classified technology, how it works, and I was figuring it out, and I was able to figure it out. But then it occurred to me, these SIS, security industry specialists, the technology that they use in the 5G millimeter network, it can tap into the zero-part field, it can manifest. It's a form of scalar energy. And with that being said, it's a scary notion, because if the Patriot missile system was supposed to work, and even if it could, in theory, defeat hypersonic missile 50% of the time, which it can't, I would say, like within all things being equal, you probably have approximately a 40% chance on a good day for the Patriot missile system to shoot down hypersonic missiles. 40% chance, and that's not even taking into consideration they use duds, they use decoys to mimic the hypersonic missile, or they shoot at the same time or prior before, because it goes so fast. And then you have the circumference of the battlefield, because hypersonic is going to trump you just because of its nature, the way it's built, its technology. But what is really interesting here, though, nevertheless, is that say all things are equal on the battlefield, and say nobody thinks that there's alien and exopolitical involvement. Nobody thinks that that's what's happening, because you don't have access to that information. Even the three-letter agencies have complained to Congress that they do not have access to secret space program technology. And within confines of certain circles, this is true to extent, but even that technology is limited to keep you within the structure of your narrative of place of singularity designated to you by the AI system that has already created a timeline based off your potential, the integrity of who you are, and your intelligence to supersede it, which integrity and intelligence go hand to hand. So with all things being equal, if no one knows about this exopolitical warfare happening, is that one of the things that SIS can do, and this is the new world order, this is the one world order, it's not necessarily SIS, but it's that type of technology, is that it can infiltrate the system with source signal modulation. It can understand the ELF encryption of whatever classified technologies that you're. This is the one world order, it's not necessarily SIS, but it's that type of technology, is that it can infiltrate the system with source signal modulation. It can understand the ELF encryption of whatever classified technologies that you're utilizing. It can pick up that frequency, and it can download that information into its apparatus, and then it can understand what it has to do to hack your system, and then it can change the trajectory of the GPS of orbital rocketry in air, and or prior to, and or affect the entire system with source signal modulation. And it can be even linked to satellites. And I think that it was said a while ago that Elon Musk was providing for Ukraine, and I'm not going to say anything about Elon Musk, but he runs with the circles of this runs, I'm just gonna say, this has to be said for the entire conversation, that he runs with the circles of this narrative for exopolitical weaponry with given and against humanity in ways he's known and that are unknown to him, that will even supersede his understanding of his involvement of Neuralink, of Starlink, of taking people to Mars, of all that stuff. So this is a huge variable, because it's like the way that the patriotic missile system will work here is that it's gonna track certain targets. It has passive, which means it has passive radar, so it's not gonna pick up the frequencies, but it's probably going to scan the frequencies within the circumference, and then it's going to identify everything in that vicinity and have certain variables and algorithm gradients that it's going to see when it sends an electromagnetic flux in a certain place of the field on a quantum level. It will then know how to proceed based off the velocity from that algorithm gradient of entanglement. So based on the coding of something that's happening in real time with the Patriot missile system versus the hypersonic missile, is that not necessarily SIS, but a scalar energy weaponization system can be implemented into the Patriotic system from Elon Musk's Starlink systems, because it doesn't have to be Elon Musk's Starlink system. There's so much freaking energy on Earth that what's it called? Security Industry Specialists, SIS, this technology that they use, these negative extraterrestrials that stalk me, that I presented to you on my YouTube. I mean, that's not necessarily SIS, but they're in compliance with them to extent, whether they know it or not. Like SIS will have a human team, and then these negative extraterrestrials, they won't know really what's going on there. That is beyond anyone's pay grade. It's from another dimension of reality that they're trying to pull Earth into, and they're attacking me because I can negate them and I can become an ascended master, and that trumps them. And to an extreme, like I will become more powerful in their secret space program if I ever get money to protect myself from it. But until then, you can hear the psychosis of what they want you to think is reality, and that is the manipulation, and that is a lot. In the end days, Lucifer will be in the airwaves, and that's why Christ says judgment by their actions. That's why I have an ex-wife with a top 10 model body, with a doctor IQ, with a really good, healthy, heterosexual Christian relationship, and I raise my kid, and I summon Mercabus. So everything that's happening right now is not suicidal, but that is how that stuff makes me feel on a telepathic level. If you have access to satanic ritual abuse, the language of the Antichrist used against me for propaganda. But back to what I was saying, is that whoever has access to scalar energies can, if they, and that's the way these negative extraterrestrials work, bro. Like this is a big fucking deal, because whoever has this technology of something that is superior to Jade Helm, of holographic computing, but can implement a neural net. What I was saying, there's so much energy on Earth that this neural net could go anywhere on Earth, and it can be the alpha and quantum supremacy to any other technological system. So even if they wanted to crash the hypersonic missiles, they could hack the hypersonic missiles within reason, and they can crash those systems. They can potentially take over that system and make it go somewhere else. Like, it's fully fucking arrayed, it is hacked, it's manipulated, and that says a lot for nuclear arsenal, and hypersonic missiles have a nuclear tip. So this is really interesting analysis that I just came to conclusion, like how fucking arrayed that shit is. Like, no one knows about this stuff. Whenever I upload this type of stuff, they like come at me harder, because like no one's supposed to know this. But it's like they have YouTube hide my algorithms. No one's believing this. No, people are more interested in the propaganda of satanic ritual abuse, because I'm kept homeless. No one's gonna believe some homeless guy. They just try to energy my nutsack and said I'm kept homeless until I become a homosexual. So that's never gonna happen. So go fuck yourself. My soul is the 144. The 144 bow before no man but God. Money is not my God, and the narrative of your propaganda of what humans do not understand this rhetoric and do not have the integrity to understand this rhetoric, and are more concerned with lies through the airwaves against their character, is not that of my concern. And I endeavor to keep the peace of equilibrium of heterosexual Christianity. And if you want to go to the narrative of the deep state and most evil line motherfuckers in existence, well, that's your karma. It's not my karma. For when I die, I will rise and I am safe. No longer will I be connected to this brain of this psychosis. Moreover, it's not demonstrated here, nor is it ever. And that's the whole point of keeping me in poverty, so we can always make it look like self-takeout. But this is some really good analysis for some people on the battlefield for Team Human. who want to try to negate an exopolitical warfare superseding us.